Good morning, dear student. Today we will study the class 10 history, and those who are the class 10 student, please open your book and see your book chapter 1, and there is the topic revolt of 1857. So now we have to discuss about the revolt of 1857, because before understanding writing any topic we have to understand the reason behind the topic and what is the meaning of the topic. So first we will discuss about the revolt of 1857, why this revolt is known as the revolt of 1857, and even also why it is known as the first Indian independence war. So this revolt has started in 1857, that is why it is known as the revolt of 1857. Now before the 1857, many Indian rulers just they fought against the British, like Battle of Buxar, Battle of Plassey, and many other wars just they fought, but they did not fight at what is called by making the unity against the British. That is why they did not get the success. Now in this revolt, most of the Indian rulers, leaders, and even also Sipahi made the unity and fought against the British. That is why it is known as the first Indian independence war. Now we will discuss about the causes of the revolt of 1857. What were the causes of the revolt of 1857? Point number 1, political causes. Point number 1, political causes. Now, what were the political causes? Due to that, just many Indian people understood the policy or the philosophy of the British, and just they became ready to revolt against the British. So, first point, just we will discuss about the political causes, subsidiary alliance. Subsidiary alliance. Now, we will discuss about the subsidiary alliance. What do you mean by subsidiary alliance? Under this alliance, Indian ruler made the friendship with the British. Under this rule, Indian rulers made the friendship with the British, and it was the freedom they could make. But there was also some terms and conditions. So point number 1, first there was accept the British supremacy. Accept the British supremacy. It means the Indian rulers, those who wanted to make the friendship with the British, they accepted the supremacy of the British, and without the permission of the British, they could not do any work in their kingdoms. Now, second point, surrender their foreign policy. Surrender their foreign policy. Now, just I am discussing about the point. After that, just I will give the photo click of the notes, whatever I have prepared for you. So then you can note down in your copy and you can study for the future. And even also you can remember it by heart. Now, second point, just I was about to say, surrender their foreign policy. It means without the permission of the British, Indian ruler could not make any relationship with the other Europeans. Understood what I told? Again, just I am repeating. Without the permission of the British, Indian ruler could not make any foreign relationship to the other European countries. Now, third point, even under the subsidiary alliance was accept the British resident as their headquarter. Accepted the British resident as their headquarter. Again, just I am repeating. Another point was accepted a British resident as their headquarter. Next point was agreed to maintain the British troop as their own cost. It means even also British has given some troops to the Indian soldiers, and their soldiers, it means that troops were maintained by the Indian rulers by their Indian rulers cost. British did not pay even a single coins for them. For that, British has promised if any other European rulers or any other Indian rulers would attack on your kingdoms, then British would supported to them, and even also British helped to them. So these were known as the subsidiary alliance, and by the help of the subsidiary alliance, there were many rulers, Indian rulers, they were not happy, because slowly the kings like Awadh and other, those who made the subsidiary alliance, they started to going to collapse or under the control of the British. Now, second point is known as the doctrine of lapse. Doctrine of lapse. Doctrine of lapse. Lord Dalhousie introduced a rule that was known as the doctrine of lapse. If any Indian rulers died without their natural heir, if any ruler died without their natural heir, after the death of the king, all the property of the king automatically would go transfer under the control of the British. That was known as the doctrine of lapse. In 1856, British introduced a rule that was known as the doctrine of lapse. Under this rule, if any king they do not have their own son and they died without the natural heir of the king, then after the death of the king, all the property would go under the control of the king. Now we will discuss about the natural heir. King would not have the child, no problem. They could adopt the other child, but there was also procedures. They would have to take the permission. Without taking the permission, British did not accept the natural heir. So when they had taken the permission from the British for adopting the child, and British had granted the permission, you could adopt the child, so that child could be the next ruler for the after the death of the king. But without the permission of the king, if without the permission of the British, without the permission of East India Company, if any king has adopted the child after the death of the king, that child would not accept as the next ruler. That was known as the natural heir. So next topic just we will discuss in next class. Thank you class.